Well, we were going to play a little game, but we're live. We're live from Brisbane here as we look to talk about our first Australian show in September. Just a thrilling fight between the world number one at 140 pounds, Liam Paro, and 20-0 Brock Jarvis as well. Dempsey McKean, Sky Nicholson, who's joining us today, ahead of our first ever show in Australia. We're a bit early, we've still got work to do, but I'm here planning the show and I wanted to get everybody together, and thanks for a great turnout today here in Brisbane. As you know, Matchroom have a big global vision for the sport. We're already in many territories around the world, of course, the UK being our prime market, the US as well, Mexico, Italy, Spain, the Middle East. But Australia is a market that we've been looking at very closely, and a market that's going to be very important to us. I have been around the world very aggressively. I come in peace to Australia. I come to understand your world. This is my first ever time in Australia. I've had a great time this week, but it's going to be a very important market with us. I've been watching the great work that people have been doing in this territory, great promoters. Of course, one of our partners over here, Angelo Di Carlo and Alfie Di Carlo, Main Events, also No Limit, of course, doing great work here. And I'm really impressed, not just by the shows, but the talent pool as well. We want to bring something different. We want to bring value for money. We want to bring exposure to Australian boxing. We want to invest in the grassroots of the professional code as well. But more importantly, we want to make great fights from top to bottom on the card. I reckon we're about a week or 2 weeks away from giving you all the details you need to know about September. But one thing I promise you is a tremendous fight card. Value for money from top to bottom. And this main event is a great example of what we're trying to do. Sometimes it's very easy to make individual fights that don't really mean a lot. When I looked at Liam Paro, number one in the world, right at the foot of the World Championship shop, coming early, probably in 2023. No need to take risk, really. But if we want to make great fights, if he wants to be a star, you need to make great all-Australian fights. Brock Jarvis, I think, despite being also extremely handsome, you know, which is difficult for me sitting next to him, I have to be honest with you, but what a fighter, what a talent. You know, you've got Jeff Fenwick here, one of the legends of not just Australian boxing, but world boxing. Great characters involved here in this main event. And it's such an intriguing fight, because I've got to give you a little bit of background to this fight, because I think it's important. You know, the camps know each other very well. Angelo Di Carlo is the godfather, I believe, to Jeff Fenwick's daughter, and vice versa, I believe, you know. But the great thing is, it was almost like a call your bluff moment. You know, I sat down with Angelo and Alfie and I said, I think that Liam Paro against Brock Jarvis is an incredible fight for Australian boxing. And Alfie and Angelo said, look, it's not going to happen because, you know, we're all friends here and almost family. Then I spoke to Jeff Fenwick, and Jeff Fenwick said, yeah, we'll have that fight.
It wasn't like that, guys.
Jeff, let me just tell my version first.
Yeah, tell your version. Okay.
And Alfie said, no one actually said any of this, but it's a great story. Alfie said, I can't believe they've taken the fight. It's a liberty. We've built ourselves to number one in the world, and this guy wants to come in and try and steal the thunder. So I'm going to start with Jeff, because I know you'll keep it short and sweet, Jeff, as you always do. But talk about this fight, your charge. I mean, you are a Brock Jarvis fan, first and foremost. You're trainer, you're manager, you're everything to this young man, but you're a real believer in this fight. You're a believer in making great fights, and you really believe that this man has the goods to beat Liam Paro in September.
Well, first of all, total respect to the Di Carlo family. I love them, they are my family. And Liam too, we've travelled with Liam. I've been a part of trying to help him grow with his career on occasions, but this is an opportunity that when I was asked, because I never would have asked for this fight ever, and when they asked me, would Brock take the fight? Of course I sat down and thought of all the positives and the great things that can come out of it, and of course I said yes. And why did I say yes? It's quite obvious. I think that Brock can win. My opinion is Brock's gone up in weight, and as he's gone up, he's got better, and we've got over 2 months, and Brock's been developing every training session. I think by the time this fight comes, you'll see the best Brock Jarvis you've ever seen.
Liam Paro obviously sitting on the verge now of a World Championship shot. Brock moves up, all of a sudden could put himself in that number one position as well. Do you feel like it's almost a shot for nothing again for Brock in this fight. Liam Paro's got everything to defend in that position.
Nothing's for nothing. Brock's worked his backside off since he was like 16 years old. So, like I said, a great opportunity came, so we took it. And I was only talking to Angelo because, Angelo was saying that whoever loses this, they should hang the gloves up, So I just told him to put a nail in his wall at home because I've never seen the gloves on his wall. There'll be some gloves in there. So, like I said, we're super ready. Like I said, total respect to Liam because, like I said, I love Liam. He's a great friend of mine, but this is too good an opportunity to let go.
We'll come back to you, Jeff, shortly. Alfie, welcome. I know that, I'm not say you took this fight personally, that they accepted this fight, but I know that you're fired up for this fight as well. Obviously, everybody knows everybody, but a great fight, and you're defending almost the crown with that #1 position. Dangerous fight for Liam Paro, but one you're very confident in.
Yeah, very confident. I understand Liam's got a target on his back at #1, don't get me wrong. It makes sense that people are looking to shortcut their career because we've invested a lot of time. Liam's had some great performances against international opposition and world-rated fighters to get to where he is. But everyone's just looking for a shortcut, and that's what I see that as, looking for a shortcut to the top. Now, yes, there is a big history between our families, and yes, I have taken that personally because I didn't chase this fight. But look, at the end of the day, business is business. He'll be 100% ready for this fight, and he's going to make a statement.
Obviously, when I talked to Angelo about the fight, you were willing to take the fight. You didn't know whether it would get made, but looking at the fight above all the thoughts behind the making of it, you're confident that your man is just too good for Brock Jarvis. Is that your belief in this fight, that he's a different level?
Yeah, I believe so. Just there's different levels to it, and he's credentialed. Have a look at the list of opponents that Liam's fought compared to Brock. I think it speaks for itself. Look, I'm not saying Brock's he's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but I just think that Liam has had the much more experience, and I think that there's levels to it, and you'll see a boxing clinic.
We'll speak to the fighters. Brock, firstly, with you. A big step up, obviously, in weight as well. Everybody knew that at 130 pounds, you had no business to be there. You talked about 135, but now up at 140. Really get the feeling from you and Jeff it's going to really suit you in this weight division, and what a massive all-Australian fight to be a part of. Yeah,
I'm very grateful to get the opportunity. It almost seems unfair that I get a shot at world #1 without even having competed the 140-pound division. But that's just the way that it went, and I'm very lucky to get the opportunity, and I want to make the most of it.
Yeah, Alfie talks about that they've built their way up with all these eliminators and championship fights to get to #1, and the feeling is you could just come in and gate crash the party. But what an exciting opportunity that victory for you in September could see you fighting for the world title in Sydney.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It opens a lot of doors to me, but right now I'm really my main focus right now is just winning the fight. I don't really care what comes after. I really haven't even thought about that. It's a big fight and it's a tough fight, and that's all I'm worried about.
Should we expect to see the same intensity from Brock Jarvis that we always see in these fights? High work rate. You came over to California. You had a tough night's work there by getting carried away. You must have learned a huge amount from that whole experience that night, and puts you in good stead for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big fight for me going over to America, and a great opportunity. And it was a bit of a shaky debut in America, but just happened the way it did, and I've learned a whole lot from that, and I'll be a lot better off.
Liam, obviously got that #1 position. We had lunch the other day and at the media day. Very, very confident. You believe that you're a world-class fighter. You believe that you have 100% the beating of Brock Jarvis, and this is going to put you in a great position in terms of profile to bring that world championship shot back to Australia after you win in September.
Exactly right. This is a good platform to get more Australian fans before we get that title. But now my mind's strictly on this job and making a statement. I've worked my ass off to get to #1 the hard way. I'm not going to let no kid come here and take it, I can tell you that much.
You just feel that you're on another level to him? I mean, obviously he's an exciting fighter, but in terms of the career you've had, the opposition you've faced, you don't see any way that he can win this fight in September?
Look, Brock's a good fighter. I respect him. He's 20-0 for a reason, but like Alfie said before, the competition we've faced is you can't compare. His 20-0 record is equivalent to my 7-0, so we're going to see that on in September, and I got a statement to make. You know, I want to be a household name in Australia, and this is another guy in my way. You know, this is my destiny, so I'm not letting him come here and wreck it. No way.
Like Alfie said, you have got a target on your back. You're number one in the world now. You know, with Josh Taylor moving up later in the year, really, you didn't have to take a fight like this, but you want to be part of big nights in Australia. You want to bring that world championship here, and you feel this is the right decision for you to take this fight, albeit a risk for that number one spot.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't have to take it. We could sit pretty in number one to that title come. You know, I love to fight. That's what I do. And why not? You know, Jeff Fennick's a big name, and his boys got a good record at the moment, so it's going to be a good show. Like, to be honest, like this domestic show is bigger than Efra Ramirez come. He's a bigger household name in Australia, so let's get it on, and I can't wait.
Well, we'll come back to you guys shortly. Of course, Dempsey McKean, our heavyweight, who now trains in the UK, will be in a big fight on this card. I've had 50 fighters come to us just this week asking to be on this card, so many of them here today as well, and we're going to be building a fantastic card. And when we talk about moving to the UK, one fighter that's done that as well is Sky Nicholson. Sky, welcome. The move that you've made, 4 fights in 3 months, obviously it was very important to come back to Australia as well and fight, and you've had a great experience on the road, but looking forward to returning to your neck of the woods in September for what will be your first championship fight.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've said from the start, I really want to bring my pro fights home to Australia, and obviously having that experience, having 2 fights in the US and 2 fights in the UK, it's perfect timing to have that first title fight here on home soil.
You see a lot of Australian fighters go to the UK. Obviously, it's worked for you for training and sparring as well, but when you look at this Australian scene and seeing it firsthand this week, it is really thriving. And I know that when I told you about this fight, this main event, it's a fight that raises the eyebrows and gets people talking and excited, but the scene here is growing. And although I know you box in the US and the UK, this is going to be an important market for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like one thing that's missing from Australian boxing, we've definitely got the talent, but they're just not fighting each other. And I think this main event's a perfect example. We just need to see the best in Australia fight the best in Australia, and that's where we're going to get those exciting nights.
Obviously, up to 8 rounds in your last fight as well, 10 rounds here in September. Hopefully, the Commonwealth title, to add that to your Commonwealth Games gold as well. Boxed on some great cards, Taylor Serrano as well, but moving to the 10-round championship round fights and hopefully a world championship shot early 2023.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the extra rounds. I feel like I barely get out of second gear in those 6-rounders, so I think we'll definitely see more excitement as the rounds go on, so I'm very excited for a 10-rounder.
Well, thank you, Sky. And finally, from the teams, Jeff, I want a prediction from you for this fight. You know, I know you believe in Brock Jarvis, but how does he win this fight against Liam Paro? You know, Alfie talks about a shortcut for you guys. You don't have the resume to win this fight, but how does Brock Jarvis beat Liam Paro in September in Australia?
The last 19 people have said the same thing, and we've won every fight. Like I said, we win through hard work and preparation. And like I said, I wouldn't have taken the fight if I didn't think that Brock was capable of beating Liam. Like I said, I know Liam's a great fighter. I know his skill level, but I think that as Brock's moved up, he's got better and better. And like I said, no disrespect to anybody. Of course, I took the fight because I believe Brock will win. Simple.
Alfie, for you, no doubt in victory for your man in September. How does Liam Paro win this fight?
I'm not really into predictions, but I just think that Brock really brings one thing to the table, and that's pressure. But that pressure only as good as, you know, getting hit on the way in, and let's just see how long he can take it for.
And Brock, finally, full of confidence going back for this fight. It's the moment of your career so far, really the opportunity to become a superstar over here in Australia with this fight. Full confidence going into camp, and you truly believe you beat Liam Paro in September?
Yep, that's right. I truly believe that I'll beat Liam convincingly.
Liam, everything on the line, number one spot, no fear. Out to America, I believe, on Sunday for preparation for this fight, but you win this fight in style in September.
Definitely, I'll get it done, and I'll show why I'm going to be a world champion, 100%.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys for taking this fight, and I want to thank everybody for coming here today. It's been a great week for us to learn and met so many great people. Phil from Oxmar and Brendan from Crossbet and all the guys that have helped. Chrissy, thank you so much. Angelo, everybody who's been so accommodating to us here. We promise to bring you great investment, great entertainment to Australian boxing, not just in September but beyond. Looking to stage 5 to 6 shows a year here minimum. We've got big plans. We love it here. We're looking forward to giving fight fans here great entertainment, great value for money. and we look forward to a tremendous start in September with this great all-Australian fight between Liam Paro and Brock Jarvis. Stand by for further news. We're going to have head-to-heads up here now, and everybody available to the media as well. Thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Clear these tables, guys. So just step down here, and then we'll come back to our head-to-head. Just step down here, guys. We're going to clear these tables. Move these chairs. Can I just move those chairs in? Move all the glass.
Yes,